I want to tell you about a plea deal in a Texas rape case that is drawing both anger and anguish. Anger that the judge accepted a plea bargain that allows a former Baylor University fraternity president accused of raping a student at a frat party to avoid prison, get probation, and pay a $400 fine. Jacob Anderson doesn't have to register as a sex offender, and the woman in this case says she was given a cup of punch at this party in 2016. She became disoriented. She says Anderson took her outside and raped her repeatedly in every way imaginable. She read an emotional victim statement after the plea deal was announced in court. And I just want to take some time today on the show to let you hear some of it. So I'm going to read this for you. This is her words. It starts, Judge Struther, I am devastated by your decision to let my rapist, Jacob Walter Anderson, go free without any punishment. Rape is a violent crime that alters the victim's life and the life of everyone around them forever. He stole many things from me the night he raped me. I will never be the same again. On February 21st, 2016, when I was a 19-year-old sophomore at Baylor University, Jacob Walter Anderson took me to a secluded area behind a tent and proceeded to violently and repeatedly rape me. She continues, when I was completely unconscious, he dumped me face down in the dirt and left me there to die. He had taken what he wanted, had proven his power over my body. He then walked home and went to bed without a second thought to the ravaged, half-dead woman he had left behind. She addressed the prosecutors in the case who did not come to court to hear her statement, saying this, if I had the courage to come back to Waco and face my rapist and testify, you could at least have had enough respect for me to show up today. And then she goes on to explain, quote, now I not only have to live with his rape and the repercussions of the rape, I have to live with the knowledge that the McLennan County justice system is severely broken. I have to live with the fact that after all these years and everything I have suffered, no justice was achieved. I have to live with the fact that my rapist will go home smiling and happy and laughing at me. He stole my body, virginity, and power over my body, and you let him keep it all for eternity. And she also then addressed her perpetrator directly, saying this, Jacob Walter Anderson, it must be horrible to be you, she said, to know what you did to me, to know you are a rapist, to know that you almost killed me, to know that you ruined my life, stole my virginity, and stole many other things from me. And that's just part of her victim statement. Ed Lavendera is following this for us in Texas. And Ed, her words are profound and necessary for all of us to hear. And when I read about this, according to reports, this is at least the third time that this judge has approved probation for men accused of sexually assaulting Baylor students. What are you hearing in Texas about how this plea deal is being received?
Well, you know, the reactions, rather that sense of outrage and people very stunned at what has happened. And really the implications of this are best put by the victim herself, who in court documents, there was an email released by her attorneys. That's an email, it's essentially her reaction, writing to her attorney, her reaction at the news of this plea deal. And what this victim is mostly concerned about is the repercussions that this will have for other victims of sexual assault. She kind of details in this long email to her attorney how she had kind of felt that she had done everything properly, that after the crime was committed, that she had reported it, was willing to come forward to testify, had endured several years. This happened back in March of 2016, had endured several years of investigation, and still throughout all of that was willing to come forward, testify in a public courtroom, and provide the evidence needed. And all of that essentially has disappeared, and that opportunity, she feels, was taken away from her. And she says this is the reason rape victims hesitate to report the crime. She had the courage to report the crime, go through this investigation, and all of that has been kind of taken away. So that is really at the root of the pain for this victim, after she was able to say those words that you spoke Monday in the courtroom there after the plea deal was announced. However, Prosecutors in Waco say that the reason they accepted this plea deal is that they have, quote, conflicting evidence and statements that existed in this case that they felt made the prosecution very difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And the prosecutor in this case says they were very worried that there would be an outright acquittal in this case. However, that hasn't really calmed the anger of the family in this case. They said going into all of this that they were assured that prosecutors were never going to accept any kind of plea deal. They fully expected this case to be taken to trial. Burke?
Ed Lavandera, thank you very much.